Hello, just want to go over ERDs, entity relationship diagrams with you. The good news is this should be a pretty quick one. So, just a few things now. You know from the past, you know about identifying the cardinality of a relationship, one-to-many, one-to-one, many-to-many, based on foreign keys. We've now looked at relationship participation, and you've looked at strong and weak. So basically that's all you need to remember. If you are asked to create an entity relationship diagram, first step, identify what the relationships are between the entities and what the cardinalities are. And remember a crow's foot, the many side of a relationship. Now of course this gets a bit fiddly. If you're using a dotted line to indicate weak entities, then you maybe want to sort of sketch things in very lightly when you first do it, because then you need to think about which entities are weak, so that they're depending on foreign keys basically in their primary key. So which entities are weak, and they will have weak relationships, so they'll have dotted lines. And you also need to think about mandatory and optional. So basically you're thinking, could you add a record to this entity even if there's nothing to link it to in the other entity? And if that's the case, then the other entity is optional. We don't need it. Okay, so you stick a circle there. Otherwise, you're putting a bar to show that it's mandatory. And remember, always look in both directions. So if you've got two entities, look in one direction and then look back in the other direction to work out the relationship participation. Okay, that's it. I guess a word of warning as you do some of the tasks. Some of them are taken from old papers, and there are various notations used in ER diagrams, all around the world. And SQA have changed their mind about how to do things occasionally. So you will find in anything from the most recent specimen paper, that is how the SQA are going to be doing things. So you can see, like in this first question, they've got the dashed line. But in older questions, remember as well, you have to be able to interpret, as well as drawing your own, you need to be able to interpret ER diagrams. Now I can't even find an older question. Brilliant. Oh well, they must just be all in the marking schemes. Okay, well, I'm just, here's, no, well, in older questions you're going to see little rhombuses, little diamonds here that contain the little descriptor phrase. Okay, so we don't do that anymore, but you'll see it in older questions. What you'll also see is sometimes instead of the crow's foot, you just see a 1 and an M for one and many. And you'll also see, although it's not shown here, weak entities shown as entities with a double outline. Okay, and the relationship, rather than a dotted line, they show it with a double outline around the rhombus. So just be aware of that. The older questions, I can't actually even see any. The older questions have that sort of notation. Okay, see ya.